make any decisions as to bringing in new characters or anything like that. And this is kind of interesting, actually. I just thought of something. Once I hit like level 3, it might be advantageous to bring a level 1 character in to lower the levels of the dungeon. Of course, there's less reward for a lower level dungeon, but whatever. So there might be some consideration there. But a lower level character, although they can't do as much, and it would suck to be that player perhaps, can help lower the level of the dungeon and make it just a little easier for a party that could otherwise, so that, you know, the monsters are all lower level. That might be better, that might be a bigger deal than the additional monsters or additional elite monsters or whatever that that 4th character implies. I'm not sure. Feels like there's some weird kind of optimizations that can be going on with that kind of decision. But right now, the hard part for me is, hey, which one of these adventures coming up do I want to do? Now, I don't want to go chasing Savralinka or whatever her name is, this merchant, for a few reasons. She sounds scary, but, and then I think, well, you know, I've got this side quest, which he definitely wants to do side quests, and I've got the undead, which he has also upgraded himself for, you know, in terms of not being affected by curses or whatever. Those seem to be the two that make the most sense to me. But then I start thinking, well, and then there's kind of the, maybe I should go through the easiest one. Maybe this one's a bonus because it's unlikely that, you know, it's rare that I'd have this opportunity. So maybe there's something available from this that hitting it at a low level will give me a bonus or something. Yeah, they're side quests. They're probably fine that way. But then I hit this sort of, what happened? You know, what's the effect of my level on all of this? Because that's what really, you know, drove me to the, I don't want to chase after the merchant because I'm afraid I'm too low a level. And I don't know how realistic that is because each dungeon is scaled by level. And again, maybe the level's the most important thing, and maybe getting those dungeons out of the way early is better than doing these others. Now, that's not going to influence the decision. He wants to go for the side quest, and he has acceded to the Tinker's request to take that, you know, not affected by bad events. I think we're going to go for the 2, because I have undead already now. First, though, we do have some additional cash. Not a whole hell of a lot. I don't know if anybody has anything that they want to buy. Him at 20 would be the only reasonable level. And he does not have a hand, and everyone else is at 10 or so. He does not have a hand weapon available, but I think the bow is 30. Winged boots are only 20, so I blew the cash on that. Getting another potion, once I go up a level, that'll make sense, but otherwise I think I'd rather hold on to the money, because otherwise I have to make a choice each time, which one of my potions do I want to carry with me. And these guys both have area attacks to a large extent. We're going to grab our city event next. And the weird thing about these cards is either side reveals something, but after a night of heavy drinking, you get turned around while navigating the back alleys and find yourself standing before a collapsed section of bricked road which leads down into an underground tunnel. Fueled by curiosity and a bit of liquid courage, you descend in search of adventure. Stumbling around in the vast network of tunnels proves rather fruitless, however, until a well-concealed passage leads you to a long-forgotten stash of weaponry and dried food. The stuff could fetch a decent price at the sunken market, or you could turn it over to the city guard, which is always in need of arms and rations. No. money, so we sell the goods. Ruh-roh! Oh, no. Okay. Using a few less than savory contacts, you're able to unload the goods for a respectable price. Who knew the drunken strolls could prove so profitable? We get 10 gold each and a reputation of less than -9. It would be 5 additional gold. That's to indicate that you have better negative contacts. The other side of it would have increased the prosperity, which is a good thing also. That gets you up to that, hey, being able to get higher level characters, but we want the monies. So that's cool. And that gave him enough money to buy this leather armor, which is a one-shot, well, but refreshable on rests. Chance to give a disadvantage to a single enemy attack, which, you know, I like loading up on items. There you go. At this point, we have to figure out what it was we wanted to go to. I think it's this 4 here. I can't read this, but it looks like the Crypt. So, I don't know. I don't think we should read this before we have the event getting us there, because we've made the decision to do this. So now we must take this, and it's a road event. You find yourself cutting through the dense underbrush of a forest when you notice a number of small woodland animals running along the forest floor in the opposite direction. Mice, squirrels, ferrets, they all appear to be running from something ahead of you. You are filled with troubling sense of foreboding as you catch a whiff of smoke in the air. Yeah, that's what I think. Keep moving or follow the enemy's cue and run in the opposite direction. Geez, I don't want to get burned. I don't think we have any particular anti-fire. Yeah, let's take off. Well, this sucks. Fearing the worst, you turn around and run before a great fire consumes everything. You feel lucky. Everybody's got to discard 2 of their starting cards. Shit. The other side is perhaps worse. Start all scenarios with a wound and start with 3 damage and lose a check mark each if you had one in excess, which 2 of the characters do. So I think we made the right choice, but that's going to make the scenario harder, and that's not a scenario penalty, so it's not going to hit this. So our number for this one appears to be 4. Shit. Damn events. Yeah, that one doesn't seem to be a way out of it. The bandit commander's proclamations of a gloom do not sit well on your stomach. You search the bend in the still river. Something here holds an interest for those maniacs. You're somewhat surprised to find the ruins of an ancient crypt half covered in moss and ivy. The history of this place is old and dark, with no other information to go on. You head down into the depths. Whatever these supposed bandits are up to, you're determined to find out, even after you stumble across a large group of them and more animated dead at the bottom of the stairs. You've made a mistake coming here, says one of the bandits hisses. You disagree. You are right where you want to be. Okay, so we'll set that up. It looks like 4 rooms. We don't know what we have to do. We have to kill everything. Kill. Okay, I'll set that sucker up, though. So here we have it all set up. The first room, we've got, you know, the furniture in the other room set up. That can have an effect on choice of cards, but we got the discarded cards out. The monsters. What we're facing right now is living bones and bandit archers, because I like to look up everything that I'm going to need just so that I don't have to spend time hunting it down. That might spoil the game somewhat, but I'm liable to see things anyway. I do know that I'm facing cultists and a couple of different types of demons, which both look scary as hell. But right now, you know, we went into this with the assumption that we were going to be facing living dead, and the living bones and the living corpses. I've also picked my actions. Oh, and my bonus things: protect her again. Make sure nobody gets exhausted. His other option was this scrambler, only short rests. I hate short rests. I didn't choose aggressor because I think it's more likely I'll open a door, and if I get one more level, I get a perk. So he's not particularly trying to maximize his check marks, and we saw our event would have killed a check mark. And then here, indigent, because hey, it's hard to succeed in killing an elite monster. Quite often they're kind of tough. It's a timing issue. There aren't a lot of them on the board. I couldn't make any guarantees there. Interesting choices as to what I threw out. So like this, you know, the big ranged area of effect attack, which, you know, after a rest I'll get to fire it off. I'm kind of missing it at this point because I've got a cluster of weaker monsters. These guys are taking care of the firepower though. And I'm going to need to brew some tea, so at the very least there'll be a break for that. I don't know if I'm coming back tonight though. I am real tired. Didn't get to get a nap today, and it's cold. I can't do the wood furnace this year because I didn't get the chimney fixed, and the electric heat, I don't have the stomach to burn that much money and whatever away in the same sort of way, which means I'm probably going to be freezing all winter unless I break down and, you know, turn the heat on. Anyway, we'll see if I make it back up. Kick things off with the players going for a fair amount of speed, given who they are, except for the Wyvern. She actually wanted to go late. Then over here, the monster is not so fast, but able to beat him with the bones, which are the ones in the front, and those are elite bones, which is a problem because they have lots of targets. And they're the ones that I probably wanted to nail first. All right. Let's see what I'm doing here. He wanted to go really fast so he could give everybody a bonus on the attack side. I think it's a he. Let's take a look at the others so we can make decisions here. Definitely not this. This one can shoot, if I shoot this, I can shoot a series of critters at once. And she is summoning her buddy. That's why. I don't know that she particularly wanted to go fast. I think she liked this attack. But because it can hit a number of different critters, she's in a line to get three critters. That's a hard thing to get off. And because she can recover her destroyed cards or lost cards or whatever, she's got more chances. But that means we're over here. And I'm going to fire this off for the bonus and then shoot. Here, as we managed to drop some immobilizations with that attack, which was what was very good. What was not so good is we came within one of killing two things. And this one didn't take much damage at all. And we used our all kinds of bonuses. The bones officially go, but there ain't nothing they can do. The archers, though, they have a ranged attack, being archers, and that doesn't have to be marked on their card. So, yeah, at least that's my assumption. If I see a range +0, I'm going to start rethinking that assumption, but so far it seems to have worked correctly, which means we jump over here. And here's the question. Do I want to bust through that door? I open that up, and whatever's behind it's going to attack. Not feeling like these are just wiped out, but I think I am going to move a little closer using this, and then we'll use this, which causes damage to everything nearby. Now, here's the thing. I can kill these two, right? Yes, I can kill these two with a 1 point of damage. So if I target this, I might be able to kill all but one of the archers. On the other hand, if I target back here, the no longer immobilized skeletons, they got to go, might survive. I think I'm better off letting the archer survive. But I'm going to do some movement. Nowhere near as good an attack, but I think I can take both of them down if I target the archer with it. And again, she can regain her cards once. So it may be still worth taking down too, because I want to get my ally in play. At the end of the round, the single archer is still left. It's got one hit left on it, but the rest of the stuff is gone. That makes it a lot more feasible to go through that door. And we probably want to do it right now on this next turn. I don't know what happens when one happens. I don't know. I guess I won't know until I open that door. I just know it's special. And I should be giving her a bunch of XP, actually. That was 4 total. The level of communication that I'm foreseeing here, or envisioning, is better than foreseeing. The question comes up, hey, the door needs to be opened and that thing needs to be killed. To kill that thing, if the Spellweaver goes early, her little buddy is probably going to kill it. So then we don't necessarily need to attack unless we go through the door, right? Craghart says, I don't want to do either. I don't want to open the door and I don't want to kill that thing. Okay? Tinker can open the door, Spellweaver can go early. And that's what we pre-programmed, so without, doing too much comparison on it all. And she was saying, well, how early? It's the archers, they're probably pretty fast, so pretty early. And they are pretty fast. Okay. That means we get to start with this. And, well, let's see if we get a crappy draw. We get an okay draw, so it is dead. It's going to be a mess. Tinker opens the door. He's still in his middle of his turn, so things don't get interrupted yet. But there are a series of 3 archers he's just run into. He has his attack card left. He can hit a couple of these targets, and maybe he'll get lucky. Doesn't really have much going here. He's probably going to fire off his invisibility cloak, just so that nobody can target him, because it's going to be tough for anybody to get anything else. So they're going to have some problems. But the damn cultists aren't going to attack. They're going to be doing summon living bones. So piles and piles of skeletons are going to show up. There's 3 cultists there, so that's 3 more skeletons. That's going to cause some serious heartache, as far as I can see. We may actually want to fall back and let them start traipsing through the doorway or whatever. And the problem is the ranged attacks. Ours are good through the doorway, but so are the archers. And then the bones start getting in the way. Who knows what will happen? We have to think about that. But right now, I just have to blast something off. And invisibility, sure. The Tinker doesn't get shot, but Craghart gets shot up pretty badly. He then gets his turn. He puts out a couple of defensive cards. Well, charging cards. I like getting these guys out and being more potent for a little while at least. Of course, we're going to make it through the whole dungeon. This is only room 2 out of 4, which may not be enough. And then the cultists are going to get a reshuffle, and they're going to generate a bunch of the living bones and nothing else there. And this green mana will be gone as well. That's what it looks like afterwards. This seems like a good place to rest for the night. Yeah, that turned out a lot worse than I expected. And again, I don't know what the cultists have. Gotta reshuffle. Fortunately, I always wake up, it seems, at around 3 in the morning or so. Tonight, for whatever reason, I didn't let myself go back to sleep. But we're gonna see if I can handle this anyway. And drop some cards there. Players actually pretty much focusing on area of effect type attacks. I'm trying to blast my way through here. We may have some overlap, and that could be a problem. And let's see what other numbers we get. A 14 for the archers. That's not a good sign. Oh boy, is this not a good sign. Yep, we got someone else. Okay. The more monsters, the more complicated the game gets, just like if you add more players. Well, it looks like the monsters are going to go first, and that's going to be problematic. The cultist. Move and an attack, and another attack if it dies. Well, the cultists are not armed with any missile weapons, so they're not going to be doing anything too exciting. And then after that, though, the archers get to go. One thing to note, nobody can target him. He's still kind of holding the door, but that means the archers are going to be picking at the Cragheart, and the Cragheart, he's got a healing online, but he may not get a chance to use it if he doesn't discard cards. He doesn't have anything really defensive here. He's got the counterattack, and then he's got his offensive range thing. He's got his armor. That'll be useful for one shot, probably. Of problems for the Spellweaver to be able to leave room for the Cragheart if he can survive. He had to move into this location and take a coin to get his attack off. He also is not able to target as many critters as he should have. I didn't give him the XP for it, but he only got 2. The Cragheart fired off a ranged attack, which finished things off for the archers. The archers are all gone at this point, but now that clears a path for the living bones to move next. That's okay because he has an attack and they can't hit him. They'll just be crowding up. And one of the archers dropped a trap there. So it turns out pretty cool because the bones moved into the trap and took some damage. Otherwise, we wouldn't have been getting a hit on them. And now we go over to him, and he'll be losing his invisibility finally. But we're getting rid of a big hunk of the monsters here. The skeletons in front didn't manage to kill either of them, but they're both muddled, which means they're not going to be, didn't do any damage to one of them. Got the old null attack card. I'm considering firing this thing off to get a couple more cards back. I have enough cards for another couple attacks, however, and I'm at range. So I'm kind of, because I jumped, I used my flying boots to jump over that critter. This is a really hard call because leaving him here meant, or leaving the Tinker here meant that things would attack the Tinker, who isn't going to be as likely to die, and unlike usually, the Spellweaver isn't going to get a quick action with its ally. However, he doesn't want to die either. The big deal with that coin was that it killed off his check marks. And things are looking rough as we go into another turn. I don't know how awake and capable I am of continuing. But anyway, right now I have to make this decision. Do I want to pull a couple more cards, or do I have a good enough set right now? I think I can hold another turn. This is a one-shot each scenario, but I don't always use it. I'm finding myself not always using my toys, which is kind of problematic. So let's do the reveals. I'm not happy about this, but still using up my big ranged attacks. For him, this is just his fastest action. Taking the attack bonus, which only affects him, but he's got a big area of effect that he can drop. Cultists going real fast. Not doing anything too exciting. The living bones going real slow, which kind of sucks. Because I was hoping... I don't know why I played such a low action there. I could have exceeded him, couldn't I? But the thing is, if I drop this on here, I can still get a bunch of them, so it's not so bad. It's just I might have been able to get more. Well, we'll see. Maybe the cultists will move into the area of effect. It's possible. And she is recuperating, which is a big deal because the timing of that means this may well be, well, no, that won't matter. It won't be in my discards, which is what I'm getting back at this point. I didn't just play this, damn it. I don't know. I'm always forgetting about these things. Had to do his retroactively too. It's just hard to track everything. Okay, so I guess the cultists who aren't too exciting, and then looks like we'll be hitting him. This is a big problem. I have only a range of 2, and because the skeletons didn't move forward, I can't drop this bomb. I would have to have a target here. Even though I would affect all this shit if there was a target there, or if there's not a target there, I've got to get closer, which means instead of this bonus, I may need to do a move. Now, I could do a move 2 and run over this, and that doesn't help. I don't have a jump, so I can't get over any of these because nobody hurt that, so it's really hurting me that I went early, and I shouldn't have. Fuck. I feel like I should cheat. Because he really didn't want to go early. I could see that right from the start. You know what? It's early in the morning. I am going to cheat in his favor and put that there because I think I'm in really bad shape if I don't get the attacks off. And this isn't a matter of not, needing to see the order or something. That's not the case at all. I want it to go as late as possible because this thing's in my way. I kind of wanted to kill that, but I got no way to get an attack otherwise. So this was the wiser move, so I'm holding off and making the better play. This makes less sense in a solo game or in a cooperative or solo game than it does when I'm looking at opposed games, but I keep my same sort of mindset there of, look, this is a ridiculous mistake. I shouldn't have made this. Obviously, I wouldn't do this if I was playing with other people, except I'd cry to everyone, hey, fucked up. But here I feel like I have the right to change that just because I'm just trying to enjoy myself. Okay, and that means the bones get to move, and if they can. They have a move of 2, and they're going to be an attack of +1. And now I got to check all the numbers on them. Okay, so his move of 2, he's not going to get any closer possibly, even if he swings all the way around, so he doesn't take his move, which means this guy moves second, and now I'm not going to have as nicely packed a formation, but whatever. He moves second, and he's going to launch his attack on that. If he kills it, that sucks, but what can I do? And he's likely to kill it. He has an attack of 3. And you know what? I think I forgot their shields. This one got hit by the bomb, but this one did not, and I haven't killed any, so let's just take that shield off. And yeah, he's going to kill that. So I got to take into account he was muddled, so I pulled another card, but it doesn't change the effect. Now, with him, I'm having a hell of a problem here. If I clear space, he's got a bit, I can move then. I have a move of 3, so I could actually get to this coin, and then I can see what he has. He might muddle me, but he has this huge attack. This is only going to affect enemies, and it's not going to do too much to them, but mainly it's going to muddle them. So it's not like I'm going to do a huge amount of damage. I have to use this for movement, not necessarily. If I position this here, it'll get all of these. Yeah, he's not going yet. But if I run up here, if this is cleared, it's a little different. And the reason to clear it is so that the Tinker can move forward. Now, the Tinker might be able to kill this thing. Number 3, what the fuck? I don't know. 9, I can't really read is the problem. I probably picked up the wrong one. Bones number 1 is there. This is probably over on number 3. Because I don't think I killed one of them. Those are all archers that are dead. Yeah, I really hate trying to figure this shit out when I'm so tired. So the thing is, I can target 3 guys pretty heavily, and I think that's better, even though I don't get the movement into that space. And then I take a long rest, and I think it's time for me to hang my hat up on this for today. It's a shame I got like, I don't know, 3 hours of sleep or whatever. A couple hours ago, I definitely could have gone back to sleep. Would have gotten me something a little more reasonable. But I'm just too fuzzy to keep going tonight or this morning. Just imagine how work's going to be. Yeah. Just couldn't fall asleep. All right. Anyway, this situation is not pleasant looking. We finished off the long rest. At least we got everybody muddled now. That dirt blast hit, well, not everybody. This guy's not. That dirt blast hit most of them, but... And I keep, using this one adjacent ally can recover their discarded cards. It sounds like a great card. It's really hard to time it right because it doesn't work once your ally loses all their cards, because at that point, they're either taking a short rest or a long rest before you get to fire this off. I mean, I guess if you see that they lost all their cards, if they go before you. But then also you have to align yourself and get up to them. It's a hard card to use. So far, I don't think I've used it once, and I hope that wasn't a bird hitting my window. Just a little correction on things. The bosses, that little pile of capabilities that I thought were up here, that's not capabilities. Somebody pointed out to me that that's actually immunities, which probably made my scenario with the 2 Inox bodyguards a little tougher. I'm not saying I didn't take advantage of being able to use some of those capabilities on them, but I think overall, obviously immobility was pretty strong, so I don't know. But what they're not is a bunch of different weapon effects, which is what they looked like. And it's only noted here, a place that I didn't even remember existed. This rule book is really terrible for me. And in particular, when you go look up where all the information on all the components is, an area that they spend a lot of time on documenting, all these different pictures, which are of course also difficult for me. They do cover these cards, and they do indicate all the stuff on them. And what they do not indicate anywhere on there is that little section up here that is part of this section and is not anywhere here indexed separately is special traits that the monster type possesses. Now, yes, bosses are special. There should be a reference in there to the boss rule if they don't want to repeat it in both places. What you shouldn't have to do is expect to find something somewhere in the middle of the rule book. And there's quite a bit of that in here. Beside my personal foible, which is an ability to memorize locations in rulebooks much, much better if they have a case structure without a lot of images, no gloss, decent amounts of white space. Yeah, basically a gamer's rulebook. Different people absorb information differently, however, and no matter what the rulebook is, there has to be a way to get into finding the specific information that you want. And I don't know where it should be. Where it is not is where you'd expect an index to be. I don't believe there's anything like that here. You know, the problem is that, nope, the modern, you know, more complex games, and this is certainly along that line, without the wargaming tradition behind them, are following the old Ameritrash or Euro style rulebooks, which just are not sufficient to cover anything more than the few pages of rules that they traditionally had been. You know, they're trying to extend the complexity. It's kind of like the problem that Avalon Hill faced when they moved from their simple, you know, 4-page rule books or whatever to more complex games and said, you know, we can't get away this way. And they introduced the case system. And the games which kind of spawned the Ameritrash, which were, you know, science fiction and fantasy wargaming type things, including, I think even D&D had case numbers in the original edition. The lessons that were learned about complexity were then abandoned. And at least when you got to the more complex D&D rule books, where they had dropped the case numbers, they put a good index in them. Not sufficient, but, you know, at least some referencing, etc. This doesn't seem to have that. I've got a player aid card. This is your player reference. It's got nothing terribly, well, no, this is actually kind of useful. I'm always looking that up in the rule book, so now I recognize, hey, it's actually on that player aid card. But I was hoping maybe there would be something there. But no, there doesn't seem to be an index. Now, there's probably somebody who made an index into it, into the game, because it's such a popular game. But, whew, you shouldn't, you know. I've heard people claiming, hey, we played this game, you know, set it up, started playing the campaign, and then, oh no, legacy game started doing damage to the components, putting the stickers on, maybe destroying cards and opening up boxes and stuff, and we were playing it wrong. That's one of the problems with legacy, certainly, is you fuck something up and, you know, now you've screwed up the game forever. You can't rewind it and go back to a different state easily. Whatever. I'm obviously too tired post-work, post-walk, to jump in and play right now. I'm going to take a nap, and we'll see, maybe sometime in the dark of the morning when it's fucking freezing up here, I'll get a little bit more in. We're not getting enough playing, and you know, it's funny, it's like, I arrange my life so that I can do maximal avoidance. So I'm like taking naps in the middle of the day now, right after work, so that I can't possibly get anything useful done. But also, so it ends up so that I can't come up here and play very much because it's cold. But I end up just, you know, putzing around on the computer and reading stuff I'm not really enjoying, RuneQuest stuff. Anyway. Trying to realize what I'm doing here. Craghart is full, long resting. The others are doing stuff. Tinker, I probably should have blasted this off. I think I had made a conscious decision not to do so, though, so I'm not rewinding that. And let's see what we've got here. A little bit of speed there. And she is going to be doing a big area of attacks, a big area effect attack that will cause all kind of muddles. But the problem is these guys are already all muddled, so I'm actually probably not duplicating. Cultists, wow. Huh. I wonder if I did that damage to the cultists last time. I know I did this and there was a circle, but I don't think they took damage, but maybe there's 2 cards. And the bones is slow, but powerful. No movement though, which means since they don't have a ranged attack, they're gonna, there's a skeleton here, he's just gonna hold the door and prevent anybody from getting through. However, these guys are going to summon some more crappy bones. Not crappy, they're pretty tough actually. If they get close, they've got the targeting thing. Okay, but we did a lot of speed here. And I'm going to be using this as a move actually, which means an attack 2, range 3 with poison and green. So I can hit that one. I'm going to poison the skeleton, I guess. This was kind of a shame. I blew up all the skeletons. No coins dropped from them because they're skeletons. And I launched this sucker, which generated some color. Actually, I don't know about these things, but I had these in my deck as part of my advantages. And so I created some green mana too. Just because I have a lot of magic eating capability in between these two, so I want to start generating more power, especially her. And she doesn't really care too much what color it is, but he cares. He likes green, so that was the choice. Anyway, I blew up all the skeletons. It did a lot of damage to the cultists, pretty much getting them really close to dying. One of them was already within a couple points of dying, though, and I barely scratched it. Just a bad card draw. Because, well, I threw my potion in because that big blast didn't do a lot of damage, but it did enough. I got lucky on the bones, killing them off, and unlucky on the cultists, which is kind of a shame because now I'm going to start creating more bones. But 2 of these cultists are going to pass out and die due to that. So at least there's some sort of limit on this. The problem is I have 2 more rooms to explore, and we're doing 1 long rest here. Looks to me like she's got to do one. Actually, it looks to me like she's got to get her cards back. Am I like screwing up and burying cards that I shouldn't be? That would be interesting. And the Tinker's going to have to do a long rest very shortly. So remember, I started this with discarded cards, so she already did a long rest, or some sort. I'm pretty sure it was a long rest. So there's actually an extra card trashed in there, and her little critter died and everything. So yeah, her pile is pretty depleted already. So she's going to be doing the restore a card at this point. Unfortunately, this one won't be in the pile, but whatever. At least I'll be getting everything back and without doing a rest. But before we do anything else, the cultists have to summon, and they each summon a skeleton. So we get another horde of skeletons to cope with before the cultists start dying off. I'm just realizing my style of playthrough doesn't really suit this kind of game, and I don't want to do an every move thing like I do with a lot of the Euros and stuff, which this is similar to, and honestly it's the same situation I had with doing Mage Knight. And well, I think I didn't do more than like 1 scenario of Mage Knight on video, if I recall correctly. I don't remember for sure, but because it's all this figuring out how to program your hand, you know, it's kind of like, okay, well, what can I show? I show the starting bid, sort of, as it were, and what we've got is the cultist going first, and then Craghart, And then the bones, okay. And that's kind of cool because the cultist is lost in the back and he may have trouble getting his shot off. He's got a move -1. That means he's only got a 1-point move. I believe he has no path through. So he's going to only look for something with that range 3 attack, which he can only get to here with. So he's not going to get to shoot or anything, so his turn just gets wasted, which is cool. Craghart's going to be firing off a big explosion, kind of like he did. Tinker's doing a long rest. Why? I don't know. Recover these things. You can see he got his back, so, well, these two actually, his defensive ones. And she's regaining her cards. She has a move. It's a shame because this card is the one that I'm going to have to discard. And that's a pretty good card for being able to shoot a lot of things at once. But whatever, I get some of my cards back. That'll be useful at least. So I guess we could start. But like I was saying, I mean, you're not getting to see that play-by-play move that I tried to show and that most people do with these. For that first scenario, but there's no way I want to do that with every scenario. It took 3 videos to get through a fairly short scenario. And I'd rather just babble and show you all the moves. But then also, the descriptive story as interspersed by the cards isn't as good. And I almost feel like I should be doing about 5 minutes on each of these scenarios or maybe 10, and start clumping them together on videos because I'm not sure how much is gained by me going over the mechanism points. If I can just get the high points, there were a bunch of things here and they died. But again, what's the excitement in that, right? There's sort of this, it's hard to find the location. With a war game, this is often a good layer, a good level of coverage, because I can talk about, well, I took a turn and this stuff happened. Here, though, turns are individual card actions, so I kind of have to try to summarize what everybody did in their turn. It would be optimal, but I haven't really been doing that. I've been breaking in more than that, which I don't like doing. Big explosion muddled all the skeletons. One of them came through the door, hit him for nothing. I did kill off the last cultist. So now it's just these bones that I'm killing. But again, time is the issue here. I'm always feeling like my deck is running out. Especially, I mean, I blow through, the Tinker's okay, but I blow through a lot of cards. And that's just sort of my practice. Now, she got her cards back. He'll be getting his, or is that a he or she? I can't tell. It will be getting its cards back, as well as, I don't know, recharging its items. But most of the skeletons got stuck there, and now we're hoping we'll be able to knock them back. That shield, that 1 point of shield, man, the bow would be great if it wasn't a one-shot. Then you have to recover it or whatever, I think. Because it would be fantastic to be able to just constantly be ignoring 1 point of shield, but it's a low-level item, But I think that's what he's going to be going for next. Maybe him too. He doesn't have an item for his hands either. I don't know. There's only a couple of them, so I've got to choose. Do I have something here? Nope. And this card's so hard to use, and other people's decks are beginning to deplete. At least my allies are. I'm not too bad. That was the card I threw out, even though it's got a decent heal on it. The big purpose I have that is to recharge someone quickly, get a couple of XP off of it. That's not there. All right, it's time to pick another round. Let's see if we can finish off the skeletons. Hope for the best here. Tinker has said, yeah, I can clear the doorway for you. So his plan, not necessarily what he's going to do, is to heal and run through the door to get beyond. And she is actually just doing utility stuff, creating critters and casting spells. So let's see Target one enemy with all attacks. I think what that means is that every one of the bones critters has to go after the same enemy. I don't know which one. I guess whichever one I target first. I don't know. Oh no, this is a special ability. I bet you it's because he has these multiple targets and that they'll be allowed to multi-attack one person. I bet you that's what it is. Boy, that sucks because I'm trying to hold the door with him. Okay. So the only good thing about it is I have some movement before that. So we'll see if Tinker can take him out, but that's still not enough because he's going to come running through the door now. I'm going to fucking buy. Oh, shit. I've shared the planning information properly. Like, if I was doing it solo and taking the penalty for that. I would have allowed him to go first, but that would have allowed him to go quicker than the living bones. But instead, I had to leave a lot of space so that the Tinker had room to go first. I could say, hey, try to go early. I could even ask how early could you go, and if he said pretty early, then maybe I would have played this. But as it stands, we didn't have that question come out, whatever. I felt like this was fine. I didn't see this ability, and I thought I'd be able to run through. But what's obviously going to happen is if that goes faster than me, those guys are going to come back in the door anyway and block my way, which is the problem. What does that mean? Well, I can do a lot of damage to all my allies. I don't have the jumping boots. Yeah, this is, I didn't think that through as carefully as I could have. And then there's also this, all allies and enemies adjacent to the target. Well, at least I'll have that where I can blast something and get them both, but yeah. It sucks. That first skeleton ran up, attacked me. I mean, maybe doesn't. I'm going to reshuffle this deck. He hit me twice. Now that triggered off 2 retaliations against him, which finished him off. And now, I think I forgot to take a thing. Now I've got another skeleton that's going to come in, and it's going to get 1 more attack on me. Now maybe I'll use my armor on that. I don't know. So I probably have to do another rest before we open another door. I don't think we're going to be able to make it through all the rooms without collapsing. To the future of my additional cards before I decide what to do, because I'd love to pillage this money. I do not have a move above a 2 in hand. I want to open a door for this, which means 1, 2, 3, 4 puts me there. 1, 2, 3, 4 puts me there. I don't know which one we want to open. Let's open the one with the ladder, because that might cause something to happen that's cool. It's going to be horrible, but it's cool. I don't know. I just don't know. It's a smaller room. So that way next turn I will be able to open up a door, so I don't get the treasure. And the other bonus thing is I get to do this heal 4. Which I can desperately use. Little things in this game that irritate me, you know. I enjoy it, but there are a lot of little things that irritate me. For example, I've gone over some of them, but you know, the fact that I can't loot after I'm done. Now, the one where I was running away at the end of it, the forest one against the Inoxes, that made more sense. But here, why would I, you know, why can't I pick up some coins on my way out? Well, I'm really tired. Okay, whatever. Can I at least use my cards until I'm done? Because whatever the cards represent, there's also this weird time thing. Once the dungeon's done, you can't go grabbing shit. Yeah, and that weirds me out, and I don't like it, but it adds to some of the strategic choices that you have to make. And yeah, I know I'm running. This video is going to take longer than I want. But that's okay, because I've got my file joiner. But one thing that's bugging me currently, in conjunction with those other things, and again, it makes you make strategic choices. It just doesn't link well with reality, and that's the problem with the game, is not, you know, it gives you challenging choices to make. It's, I can't do some sort of partial rest, you know, it's like, I'm limited to X number of rests. Each time I do a rest, I lose a card permanently. So I can't say, you know, I'm a little fatigued. A little bit of a rest would be nice. But I'm not really pressed for it. So now I have to make the decision, you know, is it worth me losing another card to be able to open this door a little slower or whatever, because other people haven't caught up? And the answer in my mind is generally no. You're so limited by the number of times you can go through your deck that, you know, we saw in the first scenario I played, I almost ran out. Now, I probably cheated against my players a little bit more than usual, but there's always this close run balance, and you have to worry about all that. And the worst thing to me is like running out of deck. I don't mind if I get killed so much, but running out of deck seems so bad that I never want it to happen, just because it's so incongruous. And let's mispronounce things intentionally if we're going to do that. But yeah, I just feel like there should be some way, there should be some sort of, you know, reasonable way for the other people to come up without it being a major cost. Just because I'm halfway through my deck, I should be able to do like a half rest or something like that. I don't know. I just, the fact that resting costs is very, very painful to me. Of course, if it didn't cost and you never lost cards, you could go on forever, and that would cause a real problem to the system. So, you know, it's an expedient solution to providing some sort of time cap, so the players can't just sort of game it out and successfully grab everything in the dungeon. What tells me is, in comparison to the older games, the older style games had kind of more of a role-playing feel, which, you know, they were like trying to simulate some of the role-playing experience. This one kind of directly disconnects from that and says, screw that, we're going to make certain gameplay concepts in terms of difficult choices, etc., more important than trying to simulate that role-playing game experience, and more important than, and it's almost a, you know, a corollary, because the role-playing game is essentially trying to be a simulation of some sort of imagined reality. And like with, you know, something like Sorcerer or something, that's a weird game and almost an abstract. If you start to try to justify what's going on with these decks and really try to seriously figure out what this game represents, you start straying so far from any kind of, you know, believable reality that your suspension of disbelief just gets blown away. And that bothers me. I like my games to link well to their reality to some extent. I certainly do not feel like, in any sense, I shouldn't be able to pick up crap. There might be a limit to how much crap I can pick up, but the scenario ending when the scenario succeeds, you know, that round, no matter how much more energy I have that I could have expended and could have fought, nope, screw that, we're leaving this shit, don't want it. The card basically tells everyone else, you guys want to go late, I'm opening up the door. As long as you guys can give me some fire support, this is going to work. Okay, we'll do that. So, there are no monsters to draw at this point. And indeed, Craig Hart gets to go first, which is awesome for him. The door, thinking you are prepared for anything. Oh, before you, however, stands a creature of pure elemental energy. Screw that, man. Why isn't that here? Enraged and demonic. It takes a second for you to collect yourself, as if animating the dead wasn't enough for these lunatics. Alright, and we are facing, I believe these suckers are a couple of earth demons. The part is, I was cleverer than I thought I was. I used up the green magic, which is important because, I don't know, he's eating something up there. That would have been wind magic. That's fine. He couldn't eat that up. Oh no, that would be bad for him. It's a -2 attack. So, yeah, if we threw some wind magic out, it would screw him up. But what is clever about what I did is that I was able to use an attack that, with my now lost card that allowed me to increase targets, give me another experience, I was able to mobilize both of them, even if I wasn't able to do a lot of damage. It was a high range attack with a couple of targets, boom, took them down. So that worked out pretty well. I had to choose which card I was using for my move. I didn't want to use this for my attack because there's no guarantee I would find something. And my intention was to hold this card as my attack, which is a better reserve attack where I could hit a lot of critters that are near me. That'll still be in my hand next time as the bonus. But I won't be able to act next time, which is the negative, of course. So clever with the spell user. Let's see, he's going before him as well. The Tinker ran up. Being greedy, he grabbed 2 gold instead of 1. That would have put him closer. I hope he's not an idiot. Let's make sure he has... You know, he doesn't have any movement cards. He's not going to be able to move more than 2 hexes. I'm not going to be that greedy. Money's not that valuable. It's nice, but it's not that valuable. But where I was stupid was with him because, well, I guess it didn't really have a choice. This thing moves and blocks the door, which means I'm going to have to use my winged boots to jump over whatever I go at. These things do not have ranged attacks, so basically they're just going to get rid of their immobilizations. With her, again, not being greedy, jumped a little closer. I don't think I'm going to have the cards to get through that part of the dungeon. Which means, but when I encounter this dungeon again, I got to come back and fight my way through the whole thing. If you were playing with the, or if I was playing with the sort of permadeath type rules, where you get exhausted, you're dead, you don't make it, you know, you get killed, you're dead, or you get knocked out, you're dead. Which seems a little more realistic in some ways. But I think that's making up for an abstraction in play along with a lot of others that are here. Notably, you don't have to do anything to get out of the dungeon. So, yeah. Here's what I can't do. I can't escape the dungeon before I open that door. Basically, I have to deal with the entire dungeon and try to kill everything. And then I either succeed or fail at that. And if I fail at that, everybody survives and they get away. And if I succeed at it, that's great, you know, whatever. But what I can't do is say, you know what, I don't want to open that door, I'm not strong enough. And then come back and deal with it or anything like that. Nope. Obviously, it would be kind of cheap if you could come back and deal with it because you would never open up doors. You would wipe out part of the dungeon and go away. Unless it restocked, which is what it effectively does. Anyway, we'll try to move along a little quicker and maybe interject a little less. Some question whether I want to do a short rest here, but these things are very, very slow and they don't have a ranged attack listed on them. Might be one in there. So I'm going to do a long rest on him. And she's also doing a long rest. Just, yeah, the short rest, I don't know. I just don't like them. And then, so only the Tinker is going to actually be moving at a normal place. And he chose slow for the, his 2 cards are basically within 1. With the thought that, hey, maybe these things will be closer by then. And they will be moving a wee bit faster. This worked out kind of nicely. I moved forward with this card. At first I was going to do this one because this one does stuns. Hey, win a turn off that. But instead, I pulled him into that trap. Now this sets him up so that next turn, he's already gone this turn. Next turn, this can attack. But, you know, it was going to be hard not to get in his way. If Craghart doesn't have something fast enough to get away from these lumbering piles of earth, he doesn't, you know, that's life. And I managed to do 3 damage with the trap, so It's out of 6 out of 13. But again, I think we might be able to knock these things out, but I think that's going to burn our hand so much that we just got no chance on the next thing. Yeah. So we don't have a hell of a lot left. Let's see what we're doing. Everybody's charged up now, at least. Craghart said, hey, let me go first if you can. So everybody else is kind of playing their high cards. And Tinker is like, play real high if you can. Spellweaver. Just to get them through the door. They're going to charge in here, and we're going to try to blast blow our load on this and see what happens. Ew. And what do we get here? Uh-oh. We get something interesting. Any color would be canceled and green would be created. But the biggie is that there's an area of effect attack. But it's slow, which means all of these guys get to come in before it happens. We have our winged boots again, so when this moves into place, I can jump over it if need be, which might or might not be important. I got a big move there, but that's also potentially the attack I want to do. So let's see whether or not we can wipe these things out. Art moved in, did some damage, not a whole hell of a lot. He had a failed attack on this, only got his movement damage on that. I was kind of hoping to weaken both of them. This guy's got an interesting choices. First of all, he could use this for movement and then be able to attack both targets with a attack 2, which is I think what I'm going to do. Because he still moves before this and should be able to get a couple of shots off and at least knock one of the critters down. But the other alternative would be, oh look, I have an attack here. Like if this guy was really potent still, but it looks like he's close to dying, I could do an attack 5 on him, get a couple of XP, which is also nice, and an attack 2 on him. But then I don't have enough range to hit this thing, and I don't have anything that extends my range. So onward, and we're gonna blow our wad, which means we're going to be using this. We're gonna have to do a long rest anyway, so no biggie. He kind of whiffed. His little guy missed entirely, then he did this big area of effect blast. Up. Actually, no, didn't completely whiff. And only did 1 point of damage. This actually moves twice, and I get another XP off that. But yeah. That's the wrong direction. That's where I am. Okay. But the one thing that I managed was to muddle him. So now he's disadvantaged hitting here. There's no such thing as double disadvantage, so I don't have any reason to fire this off. I might end up firing my shield off, though, because Craghart's almost done. At the end of this turn, Tinker is taking a long rest, it would seem. I still have my boots. I didn't have to jump anything. But she has to take a long rest, which is going to destroy this card, and this is her last turn. She's not going to be able to do a damn thing. The only thing she has going for her is this moving. So we're down to Craghart against that beast. Joy. Card has to kill this at this point, or we've got a problem, or at least do something about it. Yeah, loot 1, no, that's not being used for that. I've got a move 2. I've got an attack 3 with an immobilize, which isn't going to do what I need to, but I'm going to go there so I loot. That's this. And because I'm the only one going ahead of him, his attack, he gets to heal himself, which is going to cause problems. And then he can immobilize us, targeting all enemies within 3, which is just going to be painful because, well, actually these two will recover, so. And she won't be hit. It's not a big deal. Okay, so I've got an attack 3. There's already green out there. That should be down here, but it'll be going back up. Attack 3, what can I do? Nothing. Yeah, I got nothing going for me. So I do 5. 5 is enough to kill him. Yay! I at least make it through this room, which is awesome. And I get to capture the treasure chest. And I'm not at the end of the scenario here, which means I can go loot money rather than, you know, try to open that door or whatever. Experience this treasure chest, suffer 3 damage, gain poison. Yeah, okay. And I don't think that's like gain a card for poison. I think that's... it doesn't really matter, but it kind of sucks. Now everybody else gets a long rest. We're out of these earth demons. Earth demons are easy. I've heard that. Okay. And yeah, we're not going to be able to deal with that last room. I'm pretty sure of that. I'll see what we get back with them. The Tinker actually has a fair size hand, but she's done. Look, she will have to, she is not allowed to long rest on her next turn, which means she just disappears, which means this is gone, if that was available. It's a pity that thing can't, you know, go to someone and help them, but, you know, yeah, she's just a failure at this point. I'll take her off the board too. Can't admit defeat. He's got a good movement card in hand. He's got 1 good movement card in hand. He's got his boots. I think we might be able to get in there. And getting in there, he's not good at doing damage. That's the problem. But he's got this recovery card. Maybe. That looks like a big room, though. It's probably filled with all kind of interesting stuff. Like, that's going to light us up. I know one thing it has is the wind demons. And I actually have looked, and it has fucking cultists, which means... but from my stance, I'm like, I have too many cards to just call it a day and, you know, hunt loot. We got away with a couple of these where we got through really close. Let's see if we can do it. Craghart's poison. And it doesn't help his hit points, which are still shit. And he used his boots to run, which means he's going into a long rest. He'll be getting back. Tinker still has this card. I'll probably be playing it next time because he's going to be charging up some of his movement, doing the big movement. We'll see what we can do. We got 2 of these wind demons. One of them's elite. The biggie on these is that the shield 2, that's going to be hard to counteract. This is gone, I'm sure. And then a couple of cultists who could summon up more shit. Do we have a chance? I don't know, maybe. These guys are pretty weak in terms of the hit points that they have, so that if I can get a lucky shot off on them, I can blow them away. But without a lucky shot, who knows? And of course, I do have this for him, and he's got a couple of fires at range 3 at this point. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, so I can hit 2 of the critters. That looks good. I do that. First time we get to see what's gonna happen here. Yeah, these are weird though. Move, attack, and pull, and they're fast and have a fair attack, and they have range. So, and they have to do their pull. And the cultist is going to be summoning living bones crap. Hart comes running up using his boots so that he can drop a blast of clod of earth or whatever it is, dirt tornado. Yeah, it didn't do much. What it did do, it killed one of the cultists, which is good. That cultist, I wish he had been killed by the skeleton, but I guess it works out fine anyway. And he muddled 2 of the critters in play. However, the guys back here are fine. These guys were pulling the Trickster Tinker back and forth. Yeah, that's my RunQuest shit, getting Trickster in there. They could have pulled him into the trap, but because the player gets to make choices like that, nope, not gonna do it. They're not mean demons. They're happy, friendly demons. Yeah. This is gonna be real tough, but I feel like there's maybe a chance. I don't know. So we'll see. I went for speed with these things. Try to get a couple of things killed before, you know, they get to do their damage. But they also have speed. Now, the lucky thing, the living bones, they're doing healing. They're basically not attacking this turn. They're not damaged, so it doesn't hurt me at all. And they're going before me, so that's great. But these fuckers, if I end up killing them, they're going to cause this ring of attack around them, which kind of sucks. Sort of like a retaliation, but not. They actually get a bonus attack out of it. Luckily, there's only one of them left, and he's not going to die this time. And this thing, well, the first one's going to use up the mana and get a couple of targets, which will help. Has a lower half card with a good attack on, a really powerful attack. It's a use once, gives you some XP. I used that in conjunction with this one. I managed to get them 2 times on the second one and kill off the Elite Wind Demon. That's a big move in my advantage. Of course, they both have shield too, but this one only takes... Yeah. Shield is better than hit points, there's no question of that. So, I was going to say a 5, but yeah, good luck getting a 5. That one card, the doubling, those are the ways you get a 5, but it's unlikely to kill that on one hit, which means I need to be doing at least 3 or 4 damage to chip away at him. Cragheart's not happy to find out that the Tinker didn't move, and I should have revealed those cards beforehand because the Tinker might have done something different. Cragheart had this. He was intending to attack something and shove it into the obstacle, but now he can't get close enough. And now he has basically a move 2 and a physical attack that I can't make. I don't have the additional movement here. I could charge into this here, but then I could not use the pit for the advantage that I want to use it for. So this is not an optimal situation, and then I'm going to be long resting. So, geez, I don't know. Yeah, I just don't know. And the muddled Wind Demon managed to do a couple damage to each of them because there was some wind available, so he got 2 targets. And he pushed his way back. This is looking really bad. So I don't have to take long rests, but I'm low on hit points. Of course, if I don't take a long rest, if I take a short rest, I lose a random card. I don't get my 2 hit points, and I don't get my things recharged. However, I may not have any chance if I don't wipe these suckers out this time. So I think I'm going to actually, for the first time that you've seen, take short rests with both my guys. Cragheart, don't move too fast. I'm going to help you. Okay. Can I go middling? Sure. All right. We're going to be using our healing, I believe, as our move, because we're going to try to pull this thing into the pit finally with like the net gun or whatever it is. And fucking living bones. Holy crap, that thing's fast. Alright, well, we may be doomed before this comes around. Can we just have one of these? Shit. A lot of these in there. I mean, gets his 2 times attack swinging at the Tinker. Tinker has to lose a card in order to stay alive. Now, he only has 3 cards. He's got like very little remaining capacity. I don't think we can do this. Cragheart's cards. He's got a lot of hits back. At least there's that. But we're facing these living bones with their attack of 3 each. That's pretty dangerous because of the +2 on there. Now I can disadvantage one of them. Oh, I gotta reshuffle that before they do that. Let's make sure I'm aware of that. I got a couple of different choices. Basically, I have a move 4, which could allow me to then do this shove attack and get an experience off of that. And then I get another attack later. Bones aren't all that strong, so I could probably kill one of the 2 living bones. I don't have something that hits multiple things, but I have this, which would do an extra point of damage and generate some green mana. But then I could only move 2. I'd be using a ranged attack. So I can move to like here, shoot this, and do a damage to that or something like that. I think I'm better off doing the push though. What do I want to kill is the question. I get the experience point if I knock something 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I can put myself 1, 2, 3, 4 here and push either one of these. Pushing this has an advantage in that I may be able to deal with the damage better than the Tinker can, and that way I could get rid of this one and just let this one attack me. I'm not going to be able to get myself in a position. These things are kind of fast, aren't they? Yeah, they have a movement of 3. Now, he doesn't have a move, though. So if I don't get next to him, he's not hurting anybody. Nice. Okay, well, I guess that determines that I will do the ranged attack, which means since I can't reach this with the ranged attack, it's only a range of 3. I've got to use this up for movement. I'll get near the treasure chest then and shoot. One hit is not going to kill the cultist. The extra hit ignores the shield, so I'm going to go for the cultist and try to kill him off. I got a ×2 damage on the cultist, which would have been enough to wipe out the skeleton, I think. 6 minus just 1 for the shield. Yeah, he would have been able to be down. But the cultist is more dangerous. He can create more living bones. He can cause all kind of problems. These things are dangerous, but maybe not that much. And I'm beginning to feel very, very happy about the situation. I might be able to move there. Now, the decision I have to make is whether I want to do a fast heal here or if I care which card I'm getting. Chances are I'm going to do the quick rest, but if I do care about the card, then I'll do the slow rest. The advantage to the slow rest is I get some healing, but I don't know. I may need to fire something off right away. If I can get it down to 1-on-1 here, that is, Craghart with some of his cards versus one of those skeletons, I'm not completely unhappy with it, but I don't know if I can do that. He went with the quick attack. I don't think I'm going to be able to get that chest because Craghart's attack is one that hits both opponents. This one, target all adjacent enemies. It's an attack 3. If there's green, hey, there is. I get to go at a greater range, but the biggie is that I get a couple of XP with it as well. So missing out on, the chance to get another treasure blueprint. Yeah, okay, whatever. I want to succeed. That seems more important than trying to collect up all the goodies. However, let's see what the bones are up to, because they can be fast, and they fucking are. But they're okay. They're not doing anything. I discussed this before, the shield 1. What does it mean? Because it's not a shield +1, and they have a shield 1, but the thing is there's different levels of living bones. Now, how much does that mean? Well, a level 0 has no shield, so this may give an added level of protection to a level 0. And at a very high level elite, they have shield 2, so it weakens the high level elites. Technically, that's what should be done. And I think that's what I'm going to do, because it does not say shield +1. And I don't think I can make it through a shield 2. Oh, there's green mana. I don't have to get adjacent. I can loot the chest. I'm not using the loot card, I'm using it as a movement. I can target all enemies up to 2 hexes away. This is better than I thought, and that gives me 2 more XP. And let's see what the attacks are going to be. That's a 3. I can't do anything good against it. We'll do the furthest guy. He takes 3. That's number 9, right? At least we're getting somewhere on him. And they've already healed. He had a point on him already. And then the other one, an attack 3. Yeah, there's nothing I can do. He takes 3 as well. That's number 1. Excellent. Opposite sides of the board. That makes life easier, I guess. And let's see what this chest is. This is so exciting. This is chest number 38. And, oh, there's all kind of nasty stuff. 38 is probably more poison. Ring of Skulls design, 123. Cool. So that adds a couple more things that I can buy. Maybe not useful to me right away like the dagger wasn't useful, but it's always cool to find shit. Well, as I looked, I forgot about the shields there, so they split down. Still need to do 3 hit points to each. I do want that Ring of Skulls, but it's $50. What it does is it lets you summon skeletons. And it's a small object, so you can carry a bunch of small objects, but it's certainly better than my potions. So now I got a reason to collect up cash. Okay, what can I do here? I could loot and get an XP. No. We want to try to win here. So I have an attack with a pull. Now this isn't like Craghart's pull. It's not going to let me destroy, smash them into stuff particularly. So I would prefer the attack range 3 that hits 2 targets for 2 damage. In order to do that, I need to move. I don't want to move adjacent to something, so I'll move here. It improves my chances of hurting them. And, I don't really need to loot. This is the end for the Tinkerer, though. We draw some cards, because this is the exciting end, right? Okay, so it's an attack 2 against things with armor. Let's hit the first one. I don't have anything special I can do. So that's 3, so 2 hits against this guy. Hey, if I had cheated, he'd be dead. Okay, and then the other one is just 2, so that's 1 hit against him. And, again, it's a fucking close run game, isn't it? This is dangerous. I look at my cards, and I need this one. This card could kill both of them. The other 2 cards, I have no way of killing more than one thing with. So I could either take a chance and do the long rest. I have a lot of hits left. Or I could take a chance and do the short rest and maybe not get this card. I got a 30% chance of losing the card, or a 1/3 chance of losing that card, period. On the other hand, what is my chance of dying before I get to attack anyway, as compared to dying before I get the rest? With the long rest, I can make sure that I get this card and this card, so then I get to go a little faster. I think I'm going to do long rest. So what it comes down to is what this card is. It's a move and attack. It's slow, but that doesn't make a damn bit of difference. Okay. Too bad it's not the one where they start disintegrating. I think that's not them. Move -1, attack +1. This could hurt. Move -1. They got a movement of 2. This guy comes in first. Attack +1, which means he has an attack of 2. I have this and hold. So he's going to do 4. I don't have anything I can destroy, so I take the damage. We get a reshuffle. I'm going to play this to give the disadvantage on the next attack. We are drawing 2 cards. It's a -2 with a 2. Does no damage. So it's triggered. So we get to make our long rest and get it off. Which is cool, because we could definitely use those 2 hit points. We can definitely use all of this nice equipment back. But none of that matters. All that's going to matter is what the effectiveness of that one attack is going to be, and whether or not we beat his time. Well, the hit points, the equipment might save us if we don't beat his time. One thing with the advantage, disadvantage, so for example this, it gives an advantage to the attack, right? I was considering picking that up for the Spellweaver, but because I was taking the perks that add color magic to her, and I don't think he gets that. He actually has the ability to add some fire, but and the muddle is also similar. If you have those kind of rolling attacks, this card becomes less effective. Now, it doesn't mean it's a bad thing. It might have been useful early on, and then I can sell it as my deck, as my damage deck starts mutating. All right. I did a long rest, so I get to choose which cards I'm taking, which should be these 2. This would be nice, but I don't have a way to move. I can't add +2 to move if I'm not doing a movement. So this is what we're doing. This card is gone. I don't think I took the hit points. Did I? Yeah, I must have. Okay. And that's all good. And we see what the skeletons do. They go faster than I do, but with a crappier attack than they had last time. So what do? Well, I eat the first one. This only works against 1 attack. And that will do an attack -1. His base attack is 0. So the second one, I might as well. The second one is a fail. I can't use the special ability. I have to move. I have a move 2. What's his range? His range is fine. I create some green mana. That actually doesn't happen yet. But the biggie is I'm going to be attacking this guy at an attack 3. I have nothing that can help it. Huh. Let's get some more money. Here's that ring. Yep. All right, let's see. 3. With a shield 1 is good enough to kill him. He only has 5 hit points. And then the additional point of damage goes to this one. And we have just succeeded. That is the end. I don't get any more actions because that's the end of the round. Another really close one. I'm amazed that I'm, skimming through. But you can see I'm skimming through. And now, let's say we had made it a level higher. Then the monsters would be a level higher. Sure, some of the rewards would be higher too, the XP, the money, and everything. But I think that might be more than I could handle, even if I could coordinate these, just because I don't like thinking very hard. So I'm kind of enjoying that I can play this a little lightly. Not too lightly. These are not easy. But I can play it a little lightly and still get through. So that's kind of cool. All right, let me come back with the rewards from this. But this one worked out better than it looked like. I mean, back here I was thinking about just screw it, we'll just go gather money and whatever, but we did everything. We've disrupted some sort of ritual here. The elemental demons belong on a different plane of existence. The cultists have managed to pull them through. On the altar in the back room, there's a wealth of scribblings on these rituals. Excellent. Not all the writing is intelligible, though. But you get the sense that the crypt is a place of power once used by an ancient civilization. The ancients tapped the power of the elements to enhance their own lives, while the exact fate is beyond your knowledge, and it clearly didn't end well. Yeah. Among the scripts, you also find notes on a couple other places of power in the area. One appears to see heavy use with the cult, and the other is marked as being overrun by vicious undead. It looks as though you have opportunities to either disrupt more of their work or get in their good graces by helping clear out a threat. So I can go to the Runeous Crypt or the Decaying Crypt, and I don't see anything special that I'm gaining other than that. So I'll just get the Scenario Victory, which is still 6 XP, and whatever we gain here. Nothing terribly gained. The money that I gained isn't going to be enough to give me that cool ring or much of anything else. The XP, everybody's kind of midway. They're almost getting to that level 3. When I boost that, then I'll be hitting level 2. So that maybe is when I bring in another character, just to tweak things. One thing is he does get a perk because he succeeded in opening a door. And I marked that off, but I'm trying to decide the perk, and I see the ignore negative item effects. Right now, that's one thing. On the next two sources, the hide armor, which I looked at and was like, wow, that's kind of cool for $10. Well, the problem with that is that adds 2 -1 cards to your deck. But with that perk, he could avoid it. Unfortunately, he doesn't have $7, or he doesn't have $10, or 9 as the case is. And I've already got a suit of armor. I could, of course, go sell that and buy something else. I could actually sell stuff off and get the ring, too. But I kind of like the stuff I have. The only thing I'd usually be willing to sell right now would be a potion for $5 for that. And I don't think... Here's the problem. If I take that perk, that is a better card with the perk than this is without. And then I'd gain a few extra bucks as well. However, I could also tailor my combat deck a little bit, or my damage modifier deck, which seems pretty good. Other than that, this is going up. I just have to make this decision, and I don't know, honestly, what I'm going to do. I think what I'm going to do, add a -2 card and 2 +2 cards. Wow. I would rather swap out the -1s and replace them with +1s, I think. Although things like the +2 muddle are pretty cool, but yeah, getting rid of some of the garbage in my deck is good. I don't have a way to get rid of my -2s though. He's always going to have a high variability in his deck because he's always going to have that crap in there. He was able to get rid of a -2 and replace it with a 0.